It was day 3 of my solo hike on the Pacific Crest Trail. After setting up camp that evening near a creek, I cooked a freeze-dried meal and settled in for some reading before turning in early. Around 9 p.m., just as I was about to slip into my tent, I heard a branch snap in the forest behind me. I shone my flashlight toward the trees but didn't see anything. Figuring it was just a curious raccoon, I crawled into my sleeping bag. Sometime later, I woke with a start and realized the woods had gone completely silent. No chirping crickets or hooting owls. The hair on my neck stood up as I sensed something was wrong. Suddenly, a horrifyingly loud roar erupted from the trees. It sounded like no animal I'd ever heard. A guttural, bellowing shriek. I sat bolt upright, heartbeat thundering in my ears. The roar tapered off into low grunts and snorts. Branches crunched and leaves rustled as something massive lumbered through the forest, circling my campsite. I was paralyzed in fear, praying whatever beast was out there would pass me by. After an agonizing wait, the sounds gradually retreated into the distance, but I barely slept that night, terrified it would return. At first light, I packed up quickly and set back out on the trail, eager to get away from that area. I constantly glanced over my shoulder, unable to shake the feeling I was being watched from the trees. Around midday, I came across a dirt forest road and decided to follow it a while to make better time, but I soon regretted that decision. Without the usual forest sounds, the silence felt oppressive. I paused to take a sip of water, glancing around anxiously. Suddenly, a rock tumbled down the steep hillside across the road. I stared up at the spot but didn't see anything. Immediately, I knew whatever had stalked me last night was back. Gripped by fear, I started jogging down the road, just wanting to get out of those woods. That feeling of being hunted was unmistakable. I soon heard heavy footsteps running parallel to the road behind the trees. Branches cracked and leaves shook as it kept pace with me. My mind screamed, "Bigfoot!" But I tried convincing myself that was impossible. I continued running in what I thought was the opposite direction of the sounds. I pushed myself beyond exhaustion, running purely on adrenaline and fear. Just as I thought my legs would give out, I heard shouts and a thunderous crack echoed through the woods. Gunfire. Hunters. I could only hope that if they saw me, they'd know not to shoot. I left the road and dove into the brush, hunkering down until the woods fell silent again. The hunters likely scared off whatever it was for now. I needed to warn them, but had to wait until it felt safe to move. Near nightfall, I cautiously made my way back to the road. I soon came upon the hunter's pickup truck parked on the shoulder up ahead. As I approached, they came out to meet me with looks of terror on their faces. Before I could speak, one said, "There's something evil in these woods. We shot at it, but it just screamed and kept coming. We barely made it to the truck in time before it reached us." I knew then they had encountered the creature. Around their campfire that night, we swapped stories, and they were shocked when I told them what I had seen. None of us would ever view the forest the same way again. The next morning, they gave me a lift back to town. Though we made it out safely, the feeling of being prey will haunt me forever.